Second one. Okay, then first question. First question. Find the resistance of coil of wire. Find the resistance of coil of wire at 30 degrees Celsius. Right. Resistance එක හොයන්න පුළුවන් R equals rho L over A. R equals rho L over A. Right. Rho was given. Rho resistivity 1.5 times 10 to the power minus 8. 1.5 times 10 to the power minus 8. Length was 5 meters, right? Yeah, length is 5 meters. Length is 5 meters, then 5 over area. Take 5 equals to area, then diameter is given 0.1 millimeters. Diameter is 0.1 millimeters. Since diameter is 0.1 millimeters, radius should be 0.05 millimeters. No? Radius. Then we need to write 5r squared. 5 is 3, right? R is 0.05 kg, 5 times 10 to the minus 2. 5 times 10 to the minus 2. But that is in milli. Right? Milli means 10 to the minus 3. Then this is 5 times 10 to the minus 5 in meters. 5 times 10 to the minus 5 in meters. Then this is 5r squared. Then R is 5 times 10 to the minus 5 in meters squared. Right? I have to simplify. Right? Then simplify. This is 1.5 times 2. 1.5 times 2. Right? Method 10 sorry, not 10. 25. Hurry. Simplify 10 to the minus 8. Make a 5. Method 25 times 2 kg 50. 50 kg 10 to the minus 10. Hurry. Then this is 5 and 15, 10. Then finally 10 to the minus 9 here, 10 to the minus 8 above, which means that is exactly 10 ohms. Simplifiable. 10 ohms. Right? 10 ohms. B. What is the measuring instrument labeled as Y in the figure? Y. Right? Meter bridge again idea. In meter bridge, before the slider key, right, we are connecting a center zero galvanometer. Then it should be center zero galvanometer. No marks are given for galvanometer. Right? No marks for galvanometer. Right? It's a must to be center zero galvanometer. Then center zero galvanometer. Center zero galvanometer. Right? C. In the space given below, draw a diagram of circuit that should be connected across the gap X in figure 1. Across the gap X, right? Before galvanometer, in a meter bridge circuit, we have the safeguard resistor with the switch, right? So it should be the safeguard resistor with the switch. Then there should be a safeguard resistor here, right? With a parallel switch. Safeguard resistor with a parallel switch. Safeguard resistor with a parallel switch. Right? 2. What is the purpose of circuit that you have drawn in C1 above? Purpose is that is a safeguard resistor, no? Safeguarding or protecting center zero galvanometer from higher currents, because galvanometers are always very sensitive. Right? If a higher current flows, it burns. Right? Then to protect the galvanometer from higher currents, this mechanism is used. Right? Always write to the point answers. To protect center zero galvanometer. To protect center zero galvanometer from higher currents. To protect center zero galvanometer from higher currents. Next. Copper wires have to be used to connect the coil of the wire to the meter bridge. What type of wires are suitable for this? Copper wires to be used to connect the coil of the wire to the meter bridge. Now this coil should be connected. No, wires this coil should be connected here, like this. This coil should be connected here like this to this slot, something like this. It should be connected to this slot, right? But for connecting wires, if you have a higher resistance, if we have a higher resistance, then what actually measures between the right slot is going to be different from the actual resistance across this wire to be measured, right? Again, අපි measure කරන්න යන wire එකත් එක්ක comparatively වාගේ මේ wire එකේ resistance එක වැඩි නම් ඉතින් වෙන resistance එකක් measure වෙන්නේ. Then these wires, these connecting wires should be very less in resistance. They should be very less in resistance. To minimize resistance, we know what to do in terms of wires. To minimize resistance, we know what to do, right? Always short thick wires should be used. Short thick. කොහොමද ඒක ගන්නෙ? R equals rho L over A. R is rho L over A. Then if we need to minimize resistance, to minimize R, length should be minimized, right? And area should be increased, right? So therefore, minimum resistance is with short and thick wires, right? That is what we should use, right? Then short and thick wires should be used. Short and thick wires should be used, right? This part should not be, must not be here. Answer විතරක් ලියුවා නම් ඇති. This is the argument I had, right? Argument එක මම මේ ලියලා තියෙනවා. Otherwise, marks are given only for the answer you are writing here, right? මේ තියෙන වගේ explanation එක. Right. Next. What are the other essential instrument and an item needed in the experiment? Other essential instrument, right? Now, we know in this setup, we are going to have some readings by changing temperature, right? Then 30 it is currently at 30, but when we are finding temperature coefficient of resistivity alpha, right, we are taking minimum of 6 readings by changing temperature, right? Then we need a thermometer to measure this. Then instrument is thermometer. Instruments is thermometer. An item to make sure there is a uniform distribution of temperature throughout the liquid, you have to stir it. Right? Then we need a stirrer. Item is stirrer. Instrument is thermometer. Item is stirrer. Right? Next, if the resistance of coil at a given temperature theta degrees Celsius is R theta, and the corresponding balance length of the meter bridge wire is L centimeters, write down an expression for R theta OS in terms of L. Neglect the incorrections of meter bridge wire. Right? If the resistance of coil at given temperature is R theta, then R theta again. Right? Resistance of coil is R theta, which means across this slot here, right, it is going to be R theta, right? We know any meter bridge works from Wheatstone principle, right? Then S over L equals R theta over 100 minus L, resistances, ratio between resistances. Then S over L equals R theta over 100 minus L. We need R theta OS, right? Subject R theta OS then R theta OS is given by 100 minus L over L. 100 minus L over L. Right? 100 minus L over L. Next, write down an expression for the resistance R theta in terms of alpha. Right? Resistance R theta in terms of alpha. The resistance R naught at theta equals 0 degrees Celsius and theta. Right. Very straightforward because we have only one equation. In our syllabus, which has a relationship between temperature and resistance. Right? Temperature and resistance. That is R theta equals R naught 1 plus alpha theta. Right? Write down an expression for R theta. That's it. That's it. Very straightforward. Right? That is very straightforward. Next. By combining expressions written in 1 and 2 above, obtain an expression needed to draw the straight line graph of 100 over L minus 1 versus theta. Right. 100 over L minus 1 versus theta. 100 over L minus 1 is going to be y-axis versus theta. Then this is going to be our y-axis. Put a hint again. This is going to be our y-axis. That is a hint given. This is going to be our y-axis. And this is going to be my x. Right. Now, for r theta, we have an answer here. Right. R theta. R theta will be answer from this. R theta is s times 100 minus L. S times 100 minus L over L. First second karno. S times 100 minus L. R theta is S times 100 minus L over L. Right? R theta equals me equation R naught 1 plus alpha theta. R naught 1 plus alpha theta. Right, now my y-axis is 100 over L minus 1. Right. Now this is already here. This is already here. Keep it without doing anything. 100 minus L over L equals, this is R naught over S 1 plus alpha theta. Right. Now if you divide numerator of left hand side by L separately, this term creates. Then that is 100 over L minus L over L. Right. And multiply the bracket. Simplify the bracket on the right hand side. R naught over S plus R naught alpha theta over S. Right. Now this is 100 over L minus 1. Right. Variable. Then x is going to be theta. No, x is going to be theta. Right. Then we isolate R naught alpha S theta plus R naught over S. Right. Now this is going to be my y-axis, right? And this is x. R naught alpha over S should be gradient, and this is intercept. Maintain a graph here, right? Rearrange the terms accordingly. Rearrange the terms, right? Next, using the parameters of the expression written in F3 above, write down expressions for the gradient and intercept of the graph, right? And gradient R naught alpha over S. Gradient is R naught alpha over S. Intercept is R naught over S. Right? Again, very straightforward. Very straightforward. Next, write down an expression for alpha in terms of. Write down an expression for alpha in terms of M and C. Alpha. Right? Now, M is gradient is R naught alpha over S. Intercept is R naught over S. Then alpha is given by MOC. MOC. When you take MOC, R naught over S cancels, alpha remains. Then alpha is MOC. Gradient over intercept. Gradient over intercept. Right? G. Calculate alpha using following graph shown in figure 2. Right. Then when you are selecting, right? Listen, when you are selecting 2 points to find the gradient, right? We can't take any marked points here. That is the first rule, right? You can't take any marked points here, right? And you have to take any two other random points, and go with exact intersections. Which means now when this is given in the grid like this, right? When this is given in the grid like this, now when the line goes exactly through these grids like this, right? This kind of a point, when it exactly goes through the grid, right? We can easily and accurately take the coordinates. So therefore, such 2 points should be selected. Right? Nikan hariyata kapen nathi points ganna bෑ. right? If you don't have a proper intersection, such points cannot be considered, right? මේ වගේ points consider කරන්න ඕනේ. That is important, right? Now find 2 points for this. Find 2 points. Find 2 points, right? See, 1 point is here. මේ points එක mark කරන්න ඕනේ. I can see 1 point is here. 1 point is here. මේක හරියටම intersect වෙනවා නෙමෙයි. 1 point is here. 1 point is here. And then what about this? This one, මේකත් හරිනේ. Another point is here. Right? මම නිකන් dot එකක් විතරක් තියන්නම් වැඩේ easily. නැත්තම් arrow එකක් දාන්නද? lazy වෙන්න. මගේ එක point එකක් තියෙන මෙතන. One point that I have selected is here. හරියටම intersections තියෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? And the other point I have selected is here. Right? ඔන්න points දෙක. හරිනේ? Those two are the 2 points selected. Right. It was this scale එකත් එක්ක readings ගන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right? We need gradient. Calculate alpha using following graph shown. Right. It was a gradient එක හොයාගමු. Gradient is delta y over delta x. No? Right. Then first check the what we call the coordinates here. Right. Coordinates එක හොයාගන්න වෙනවා. Coordinates හොයාගන්න නැතුව අදන්නේ යන්නේ නැහැ. Check the coordinates. Now this goes 10 by 10. No? 10, 20 කියලා again 10 by 10. Then x-axis here is 29. Right. Then y goes by 0.1. Right. Y goes by 0.1. 0.7 to 0.10. 10 make it say on 0.1. Right. From here to here. Right. Again 8.8. Right. 0.88. 8.8 0.88. 0.88. මෙන්න මෙතන coordinate එක. ඊට පස්සේ මේ coordinate එක හොයාගන්නත් ඕනේ. Right. This is 69 no. Right. 69, x is 69 and y එක මේ පැත්තෙන් check කරගන්න. Y is coming to here. Right. හරිනේ? Then sorry then නෙමෙයි. Y is coming to 1 above this one මෙන්න මෙතනට එන්නේ. Right. ඒ කියන්නේ 1 ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා another 0.6 then 1.06. හරිනේ? 1.06 then coordinates. Now let the reading delta y is 1.06 minus 0.88. හරිනේ? 1.06 minus 0.88 over delta x 69 minus 29. 69 minus 29. Right? Simplify this. 1.06 minus 0.88 means 0.18 no? 0.18. 0.18. And 69 minus 29, it's 40. Right? It's 40. This is a gradient. මේක වැඩි simplify කරන්න යන්න ඕනේ අපි එහෙම කියමු. This is a gradient of graph. This is a gradient. This is coming as per degree Celsius. Right? ඕක තමයි තියෙන්නේ. Unit එක දාන්න ඕනෙත් නෑ. Then intercept. දෙකම ඕනේ. Intercept because alpha is going to be gradient of intercept. Intercept එක හොයාගන්නත් වෙනවා. Alpha is gradient of intercept no. Right? Then find the intercept. Intercept is given. මේක නම් clearly පේනවා. This point no. That is 0.75. 0.75. Then alpha is given by gradient of intercept. Gradient is 0.18 over 40 over intercept 0.75. Right? Simplify. 0.18 over 40 times 0.75. Right? Then this can be written as if two decimals are shifted 18 over 40 times 75 no 18 over 40 times 75. Right? By 3 make කොහොමද cancel වෙනවනේ by 3. This is 3 times 6. 3 times 25. Right? Yes, by 2. 2 times 3. 2 times 20. Then 3 over final answer 3 over 500 ne 3 over 500. They can make ගන්න simplify වෙනවා. 3 over 500 is simplifiable because 3 over 5 is 0.6. Right? Then 3 over 500 is simplifiable. 3 over 5 is 0.6. Again 6 times 10 to the power minus 3. Right? Then this is 6 times 10 to the power minus 3. 10 to the power minus 3 per degree Celsius. 6 times 10 to the power minus 3 per degree Celsius. It is simplifiable. Simplifiable. Fine. It's probably simplifiable. Fine. A small calculation. And be very careful when you are selecting 2 points, because always it should be 2 points, 2 further points, right? With exact intersections, and they should not be the points given, right? If you have more than one possible pairs, listen, if you have more than one possible pairs, best option is going with the furthest pair. Best option is going with the furthest pair, because that is the pair with minimum percentage errors, right? Higher the distance, lesser the percentage error, right? All right.